Look, I want you to look at this. This is what our next guest just wrote, and I'm quoting directly. The modern Democratic Party is hoping you care more about Trump's tax returns than your own. Grover Norquist, the man on the right, he joins us now, and he wrote that. He's Americans for Tax Reform president. You think that? I mean, the Democrats want to hype up the Trump tax return and forget about yours? That's your line?
Well, let's see. The repeal of Obamacare is somewhere around $900 million in reduced taxes over the next decade, including for people with flex accounts, flexible spending accounts, health savings accounts, many middle-class tax cuts. They don't want to talk about that. They certainly don't want to talk about taking the business taxes down from 35% to 20%, the individual rates down to 3 rates, getting rid of the death tax, getting rid of the AMT. These are very popular with the American people, be very helpful to the economy. They'd rather talk about whether we saw a 12-year-old tax return number, which points out that the president paid 25% he paid tens of billions of dollars, 25% of his earnings in federal taxes before you get to state taxes and local taxes in New York.
But Grover, hold on. Let me jump in here for a second.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get people who do not pay any federal income tax, and that's roughly half the income earners in this country. It's very hard to get them enthused about cutting taxes that they don't pay, which are only paid by the other half. I can understand the Democrats' unwillingness to talk a lot about cutting your taxes and to concentrate instead on Trump's taxes.
I understand that that's the way the Democrats assume voters behave, but voters are smarter than the Democrats think they are. The taxes in Obamacare, there's a tax on prescription drugs. Poor people, low-income people, middle-income people buy prescription drugs. They know that a tax on prescription drugs is a tax on them. They know that a tax on insurance policies, if they have insurance, is a tax on them, not the insurance company. Insurance company doesn't have any money they don't get from you and me and the general public when they sell insurance. They understand that taxes on businesses are what keep them or their brother or sister or spouse from having a job. So the American people are a lot wiser than the left-wingers think they are. They understand that the damage a tax does may be indirect,
look, Grover,
but it hurts.
Before I move on to another subject, I've got to ask you this, because you're on the inside of politics in Washington, D.C. Tell me honestly, do you think we're going to get a tax cut package signed, sealed, delivered by August, as the Treasury Secretary told us on this program, what, 3 weeks ago?
I think it can be done by August. The ball could bounce and it could take till September. But spot me to September, and the answer is yes. Okay.
I got another subject for you. Yesterday on this program, I asked a socialist professor at an American university, a socialist.
You're repeating yourself.
Yeah, I am. Her name's Carolyn Hellman, professor thereof. What she thought, I asked her what she thought. Now, what's a fair tax rate for people who make a great deal of money? For the benefit of you and our audience, I'll roll tape again. Watch this.
Well, I have no issue returning to something that looks like the system of taxation under Eisenhower or under, presidents in the 60s or 70s.
And how much would that be?
I would like to, well, it's somewhere between about 60% and 80% for people who make an incredible amount of money. So for the top 1%, I would like to see them taxed at a much higher rate because they can afford to pay it.
Now, before your head explodes, Grover, respond.
Well, the good news is that historically, over the last 50 years, when you ask the American people, citizens, almost no one thinks that anyone, including the richest person in the country, should pay more than 25%. And so you have an overwhelming support for 25, 20, 10, and lower. People do not think that above 20, very few people, I guess they're all the professors, believe that anyone should pay over 25%, which, by the way, is what Trump was paying on federal taxes.
That's right.
Only. So that professor's an outlier. The American people are a little less Bulgaria 1956.
Good choice of country and year. Grover Norquist, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.